All right, today we are diving headfirst into the world of a director who crafts these incredible, sprawling, and just deeply human epics. We're talking about ambition, family, and that constant search for connection in modern America. We're talking about the one and only Paul Thomas Anderson.
But, what is it that really elevates a director from just being good to becoming a defining voice of their generation, right? What does it take to create a body of work that people are going to study and obsess over for years and years to come?
Well, for a whole lot of people, the answer is this man right here. Paul Thomas Anderson, or PTA as he's often called, has built his entire career on these super intricate narratives, characters you will never forget, and a visual style that is just completely 100% his own. So, let's get into it.
So here's the game plan. We're going to walk through his career pretty much chronologically. We'll start with his background, then move right into his breakthrough films, his mid-career masterpieces, his later innovative work, and then at the end, we'll try to nail down what exactly makes up that PTA signature. So who is the man behind the camera? Well, he was born in Los Angeles, so he grew up literally surrounded by the entertainment industry. And his films, they're famous for digging into these really deep human themes. What drives that fierce ambition in people? How do we deal with isolation? And what are the messy, complicated ways we try to connect with each other? These are the kinds of questions that have made him one of the most respected filmmakers of his time, for sure.
Let's start at the very beginning. Back in the late 90s, the independent film scene was just exploding, and this bold new voice was about to announce itself in a major way. This was the era where PTA went from, a promising newcomer to a full-blown auteur, a director whose personal vision is the absolute driving force behind every single frame.
And his journey began right here, with his debut film, Hard Eight. Now, it was a pretty small-scale crime drama, but it was such a crucial first step that really laid the groundwork for everything that was going to follow.
Even in this very first film, you can see his signature style already starting to form. Hard Eight is this quiet, confident character study. It's all about flawed people and these morally gray situations. It wasn't a huge box office hit or anything, but the right people definitely took notice. A new, serious talent had arrived.
But okay, if Hard Eight was a quiet arrival, his next film was a straight-up explosion. Boogie Nights was the sprawling, energetic, and surprisingly empathetic look at the 1970s adult film industry, and it just completely catapulted him to fame. This film changed everything for him. With that incredible ensemble cast, a perfect soundtrack, and those masterful long takes that just pull you right into its world, Boogie Nights became an instant modern classic. It proved Anderson could handle these epic stories with both incredible style and really profound depth.
So, how do you possibly follow up a film like Boogie Nights? Well, if you're Paul Thomas Anderson, you get even more ambitious. Magnolia is a 3-hour emotional epic. It's one of his most complex and deeply personal projects. This film is like a tapestry of all these interconnected lives in Los Angeles. Everyone's dealing with regret, forgiveness, and these totally freak coincidences. And yes, that includes raining frogs. It absolutely cemented his reputation as this fearless filmmaker who was not afraid to take huge creative risks to get to some kind of emotional truth.
All right, let's move on to the next phase. After establishing himself as a major voice, Anderson entered this period where he would create some of the most iconic and celebrated American films of the entire 21st century. Seriously.
And he started this era by doing something nobody saw coming, an unconventional romantic comedy, starring Adam Sandler. It was a choice that made everyone's head spin. And this choice perfectly illustrates Anderson's unique genius, right? He took a beloved comedian and revealed this deep, dramatic range that literally no one knew was there. Punch Drunk Love is this beautiful, anxious, and surprisingly sweet film that proved PTA could bend any genre he wanted to his will.
And then came the film many consider to be his magnum opus. This quote right here perfectly captures the dark, dark heart of its central character, Daniel Plainview, in the unforgettable There Will Be Blood. The critical reception for this was just monumental. It's widely considered a masterpiece. This stark portrayal of greed, capitalism, and obsession earned Daniel Day-Lewis an Oscar for his towering performance, and the film's 8 nominations, including for Best Director, really solidified Anderson's place in the pantheon of great American directors.
He followed that up with another incredibly intense character study, The Master. The entire film is built around this magnetic and, frankly, deeply unsettling relationship between a volatile drifter, played by Joaquin Phoenix, and a charismatic cult leader, played by the late great Philip Seymour Hoffman. It's such a powerful exploration of faith, power, and that desperate search for belonging.
But see, just when you think you haven't figured out, Anderson shifts gears all over again. His later career is just defined by this refusal to repeat himself. He showcases this incredible stylistic diversity from one film to the very next.
I mean, just look at this incredible run. He went from the hazy, drug-fueled fog of a psychedelic detective story with inherent vice to the pristine, controlled, and obsessive 1950s romance of Phantom Thread, which was Daniel Day-Lewis's supposed final film role. And then he pivoted again to the sunny, freewheeling nostalgia of Licorice Pizza. Each film is a completely distinct world, proving his boundless versatility as a storyteller.
So, after that whole journey through his filmography, what is it that ties it all together? What are the core elements that make a film feel distinctly, like a Paul Thomas Anderson movie? Let's try and break it down. Okay, so it really comes down to these 4 pillars. First off, he's an absolute master of character, creating these deep psychological portraits of flawed, unforgettable people like Daniel Plainview or Dirk Diggler. Second, his visual style. It's unmistakable. He uses these elegant long takes and precise camera work, not just to look cool, but to pull you deeper into his worlds. Third, he puts together these incredible ensemble casts, often working with the same brilliant actors over and over to create a real sense of a lived-in community. And fourth, he's a true innovator, constantly twisting and blending genres in ways you just don't expect.
When you look at his deep exploration of the human condition, his bold stylistic choices, and just his sheer ambition, Paul Thomas Anderson has more than earned his title as one of the most essential filmmakers working today. It's not even a debate.
And that brings us to the final question, which I'm going to leave with you. What is his definitive masterpiece? Is it the capitalist horror of There Will Be Blood? The emotional epic of Magnolia? Or maybe it's the intimate, twisted romance of Phantom Thread? His body of work is so rich and so varied that the debate itself is really a testament to his incredible legacy. Thanks for watching.